Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about if the riches are really in the niches. So when you hear people all the time when you're starting a business, like you should really niche down. Let's say you're starting a marketing agency, for example. People say, oh, you should really focus on, SEO and just, do that. Or SEO for doctors, right? Or dentists. Or if like you take Apple, for example, they really focused on the personal computer initially, and then they started branching out into other areas. So, my thinking is, the question we're posing is, are the riches really in the niches? And if they are, why do we do so many different things?
I believe you focus as well, or you're getting better at it.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is it's not even focus, it's the niches. Should you go after a niche?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a...
I disagree. I don't think you should go after a niche.
Okay,
At the
why?
beginning, you should go after a niche because it's too expensive to go after a huge category, and then you can expand. For example, ConvertKit tried to compete in the email marketing space. Didn't work out. When they changed it to ConvertKit for bloggers, they started doing really well. And now they've changed to ConvertKit or Seva for creators. And they're expanding for there. It's hard to take on MailChimp when the MailChimp's just like email marketing for everyone who's been in the space forever. Or it's hard to be like CRM for everyone and just take on Salesforce. But if you have a niche at first, you can do well. And then you got to expand your product offering to a much bigger market cap, or else you're not going to create a huge 100 million or multi-billion-dollar company. If that's not your goal, you can still make millions in the niches. It's really hard to make hundreds of millions, if not billions, in the niches because it's just too small and you'd have to do too many businesses. And it takes... I was speaking at a conference with Rich Barton. We were on the same panel. Rich created Expedia, he created Zillow, he created Glassdoor. What else did he create? I think a few other businesses, but he's done well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, his name's Rich and he is rich. And he said something that really resonated with me. And he was like, this is a baseball analogy for all of you guys who watch baseball. He's like, it takes as much effort to hit a double than it does to, hit a home run. So he's like, if you're going to swing for the fences, which he's right. You're swinging the bat, whether it's a double or a home run or a single. Ideally you want the home run, but it's the same amount of energy that it takes to swing and hit the ball. And he was trying to make a point that if you're going to do something that's big and that's game changing. So if you don't have a lot of cash, go for a niche and then expand into a really huge market. If you have the cash and capital up front, consider just going after a huge market from day one.
Yeah, I was doing a Growth Everywhere interview this morning with a guy named Samir Patel. I actually asked him if he knows Neil Patel, and he's like, that name's like John Smith. And I was like, okay, so he doesn't know who you are. But I thought he might know.
Where is he from?
India?
Yeah.
Okay. But
you were doing an interview with him. He wasn't on your Growth Everywhere podcast.
he was on the Growth Everywhere podcast, and he used to be the GM at SuccessFactors, which is owned by SAP.
Yeah,
and then he came into this company called Kahuna, right? Big Kahunas. But I didn't really ask him if it means that. But so what he was saying was that this company was a turnaround because Kahuna was a SaaS product that was trying to address a bunch of different markets, and it had all the features that everyone else had. And he made a point. He's like, Eric, what we did was we really focused on one area. Okay, we focused on one area, but then we really expanded our knowledge in that area. So Kahuna basically targets digital marketplaces, which is something that I wouldn't think to target, but he targets the world's largest marketplaces. And what he does there, and he starts to really dive into these marketplaces problems, and he's able to kind of really add features that address those specific issues. So in his case, the company wasn't working before. It was going down. It was a sinking ship. And basically, he was able to get the company to refocus on one niche and then really go deep into that one. And it ended up working out, right? That's one example of niching down and that working. But then when you look at, we talk about Sam Ovens on this podcast, and I've been looking at his stuff, and then I've been watching some of his videos on YouTube. Really smart guy. And what happens is, for consulting.com, I think what he's finding is that when he niched down, initially he was just targeting people that are looking to build digital marketing agencies, and he brought it out more, and now it's targeting consulting.com, where he's targeting a lot more people. And who knows, maybe he'll try to expand it into other areas. But when you're trying to do something kind of to our point earlier, maybe you really focus on the niche first, right? Expand out a little bit, focus, expand out a little bit more, and then focus again, and just keep repeating the same thing, and hopefully it works.
Yeah, with Sam and Consult.com, now he's targeting anyone who hates their job and has some sort of expertise, and he'll teach you how to make money from your expertise and be a consultant, right? So that's what's helped him grow. And it was interesting. I was meeting up with him years ago, maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. He ended up breaking out and was like, so who's your audience? He's like, Neil, most people, from when he surveyed his audience, he's like, most people who have heard of us and signed up, they never imagined themselves being a consultant. They watched his ad, his webinar, and then they loved it. And they're just like, cool, now I want to be a consultant. And funny enough, if you go on consulting.com, a cool thing that he does is, I was breaking down how to do content marketing to him, and it just didn't jive with him, and there's nothing wrong with that. So he's like, man, I'd rather just have my users create content for me. And this is off topic.
Another episode.
Yeah. But what he did is he had every single one of his members, or not every, but a lot of them, create a video, and he has like 3,000 video testimonials.
I saw it. It's crazy. I'm like, how does he have so many testimonials? Just like start. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're real too.
Yeah. All right. So that is it for today. Go to singlegrain.com/survey to help us make this podcast better, and we'll see you tomorrow.